Alright everybody, so I wanted to do something kind of different. So, in the midst of making TCGs and doing news of TCGs and really kind of getting my feet on the ground with TCGs, I mean, I've made a bunch of different games from Spellbook to, the Quest for the Lost Pixel, and then, of course, with your guys' help, Dreamscape. And I think lately I've been really into board games and things like that, but I had a revelation that pretty much said, hey, my name is Peter Jank of TCG News. Let's make a TCG. Let's do it. So what I have here for you guys, obviously we have CnD Arena, and as a whole, CnD Arena has always been its own self-contained game where you can buy just one copy of it and you pretty much have everything you need. Well, why don't I make it a TCG? You got rarities and you got some awesome characters and a bunch of different aspects to a game, so why not do a TCG of CnD Arena? And that's what I have here. So what I have is we have these creature cards, and then there's also going to be spell cards, and then equipment cards. So creature cards have 4 different alignments. As you can see, this Angel Warrior is part of the light alignment. And then to the left of that, it'll tell you what kind of card it is. So this would be a creature card. Right here is what level the creature is. This is how much life that creature has, and then its armor class is 2. Right here is its gold cost. So say you weren't a level 1, which is what you start off as when you first start the game. You can actually discard 2 cards to play this level 3 warrior, or angel warrior rather. Right here you have 2 different abilities and 2 different attack stats. Right here is your front row melee ability. And right here, when you place this Angel Warrior in the front row, this ability will trigger. So that would be Divine Light, which when played, remove all damage from all allied creatures in play. That's very, very good. And it does 3 damage if it is placed into the front row, which is your melee damage. Next, we have the back row for your ranged damage. And that, when you place into the back row, Light Shield will be triggered. While in play, all allied creatures in the front row gain +1 armor class, AC, which is amazing. It'll also do 2 damage if it's placed in the back row. So you have 2 different rows you can place them in, the front row and the back row, doing either melee damage or range damage. That is awesome, and I don't think too many other TCGs do that, and that's what I'm trying to stray from. Trying to do something different. Now, as you see, his name here is in blue, which means it's an uncommon. So if anybody's ever played like Diablo or any kind of like RPGs like that where you get certain weapons and they're certain colors because some are rarer than others, that's the same way that this game goes. So this Angel Warrior is in blue, which means it's an uncommon. This one's in white, which means it's a common card. So these ones will be a little bit easier to acquire. Again, this is a light alignment. And what the light guys do, they pretty much focus on healing your guys and supporting and buffing the rest of your team. Dark guys are very much into traps and negating this armor class, which is kind of like your defense. Oh, I guess it would be your defense. So it negates that. It goes through that without a problem. And Electric Eel is huge on doing traps and stuff like that, which is great. The levels are pretty cool and how they get leveled up. What happens is if Electric Eel was able to kill this Dwarf Warrior, you have a choice of either leveling up, which means you can play higher level cards, or choose a prize card. And of course, in CnD Arena, the first one to gain all their prize card wins the game. So you really have to balance which one you should go for by killing creatures. So, very cool aspect. Again, white meaning, hey, this is a common unit, but this is a great one. So this is another light card, but this Enchantress huge on buffing characters in your team, which is great. Fire Elemental Chaotic is another alignment. Chaotic is big on doing direct damage, so just pretty much just doing a one-time huge hit. So for like Fire Blast, when played, choose one enemy creature to receive 3 direct damage. So huge on just going in there. They're also going to be big on doing massive damage. but most of the time they're not going to be as strong. So for a level 3 to only have 5 life isn't the best, but it's not the worst. Neutral, and that would be the 4th type. And there's only 4. Neutral is big on doing like just defensive, just defending themselves, as if they were just a passive guy, and just in the wrong place, wrong time. They're just like, hey, just stay away from me. Great defenders, huge on defending. So for a level 1, only 2 life, but amazing armor class. So that's really cool. And armor class is really simple. So what it is if a floating eye was attacking another floating eye, what'll end up happening is that person attacking this floating eye would have to roll a 6-sided die. They need to roll higher than a 3. So if they roll a 3, it doesn't count. It has to be 4, 5, or 6 in order to actually do damage. If they roll a 1, 2, or 3, then this floating eye would be able to counter that floating eye and attempt to attack that creature. Here we got more of the chaotic, and we got air assault, which is great. Again, they're doing direct damage and just getting all crazy. They're more of they're just crazy characters, usually weaker. Again, I mean, for level 1, only 3 life and 1 AC, but man, they go out there and do some pretty sweet damage. Here we have red. Reds are rare. These are ones you definitely want to get, and they're going to be pretty much your level 4s, 5s, and 6s. 6 is the highest level, and 6 is probably actually going to be a different color, and I'll get to that. But Gorbalax is a great creature to have out there. Obviously higher level, a little bit more gold to pay, but really awesome. Marilith, another rare card here. She's awesome. She's light, so her multi-strike is amazing, but her protection aura is nuts. It's so while in play, dark enemy creatures cannot attack ally creatures in the front row. That just means that everybody in the front row, if somebody's playing a really big dark deck, you're not going to be able to penetrate any of that with Marilith in the way. Everybody's favorite, aka at least my favorite, we have Ori. I made a pixelated version of him. Oops, see-doodle. Pixelated version of Ori. I like him. Horn Strike, pretty sweet. Dodge, again, basically just narrowing it on that defense. They're just trying to keep away. Dark, another one where he's negating some the AC, so just doing 1 damage directly to them. Pretty sweet. Slinger Spider, again, a neutral card, so doing some really awesome stuff with defense and hiding and stuff like that. And as I've already mentioned, I've only made 1 of each so far, but I do have 1 spell, and that'll be annotated here. You can see that this is a purple flag, and it's also got the spell book here, and it'll tell you right here that it's a spell, and then this one would be an arcane. Only 2 types of spells. You have arcane and divine. Arcane's mostly the ones that'll be doing the damage, where divine will be doing, counters or buffs for limited time and things like that. In this case, for the fireball, this would be an uncommon, a level 3. All enemy creatures in play receive 2 direct damage. That's pretty amazing. That thing is going to be hurl a couple of those fireballs for sure. And a longsword. So this one is a common card. Right here we have the icon for equipment, and equipment is again right here, and there's only 2 types of equipment, and there will be weapons and armor. Only 1 equipment can be equipped to a creature at a time, so choose wisely. Right here we have these again, and this will tell you where you can equip this. So you can equip this to any creature in the melee or the front row, but you cannot equip this to anybody in the back row for ranged. So the equipped creature gains +1 attack, so giving them some additional attack, which is always good. And that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or would like to know more, definitely follow or ask down in the comment section down below. I'd be glad to tell you more about this game, and hopefully at the end of this week I'll send out another news update for you guys. Hopefully you guys like what I got going on here, and hopefully you guys can support it. I'd like to move on with this. Obviously, a lot of you guys know that Quest for Lost Pixel is a very expensive game, and I wanted to bring my pixel art to you guys in some fashion if you guys weren't able to get Quest for Lost Pixel, and I think this is the best way to do it. There will probably be booster packs and, of course, a starter deck, and the starter deck will probably contain I don't know, maybe like 40 or 50 cards, enough for maybe 1 to 2 people to play, and that way everybody can kind of have some fun with this. I think it's going to be great. I think it's a really cool idea, and I like this whole triggering effect and stuff like that, and the choice of leveling up or getting prizes. I think it's always fun. So please like these videos. That helps me out, and I hope this goes somewhere. I think that's it. So you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching.